Hi everyone, I am Dr. Randi from Plantation Villa, Sri Lanka. Today I am going to talk about Ayurveda consultation. What are we normally doing and why are we doing each things that you normally experience in Ayurveda consultation. It's a little bit different from a usual experience of a consultation for most of the people. We talk a lot, we ask a lot of questions, sometimes about personal life, about job. So you might misunderstand that it's just talking, but I will explain why we are doing, because it has different aspects of person's life and experience. Sometimes we need to figure out the mind and how it works, which is going to be useful in identifying the prakriti, the personality, true nature of the person. So everything is important and I am going to briefly explain. This is coming in the chikitsa part, like treatment. When it comes to treatment, identification is important. There's another thing I would like to mention here. Ayurveda says it's not always very important to name the disease or the condition. You can always follow the dosha imbalance pattern and treat the person to get it back to normal. So that's why sometimes when you ask like what is it, sometimes you will hear it like it's kapha imbalance, like that. It's not like a basic simple answer. It sometimes may be the most approachable diagnosis. It is important and it is what we need to the cure. So it's clearly mentioned. You don't have to name because it's a little bit complicated. Let's say for example, three people with diabetes. If it is a vata dominant person, pitta dominant person and a kapha dominant person, same clinical findings, same let's say like the blood sugar level and everything, but it's three different bodies. So it's still yes diabetes, but it is different when it comes to the treatment approach. So it's not very useful to have the diagnosis. Anyway, the treatment and the path is totally different. Figuring out what is wrong and how to fix it is the most important thing, and the consultation is focused on that. There is a very scientific base and procedure mentioned. We have simply like we do Atura Bala Pramana Pariksha. It means the energy of the person. We have to figure out how strong body, how is the immunity, and the Deha Prakriti, the type also comes here. Different energies have different strengths. So when we are doing treatments, we have to use that. Pitta person is good at metabolizing and elimination. For kapha person, we need more strength externally given to the body to get to that level of metabolic action. For vata, if there's a vata imbalance, it will be totally different. Let's say vata dominant person with a vata imbalance, pitta dominant person with a pitta vata imbalance, and a kapha dominant person with a vata imbalance. So imbalance is vata, but the person is different. So then it is going to change the treatment procedure. So that's why we need to figure out so many different things. And the first thing important is this Atura Bala Pramana Pariksha. And then we have Dosha Pariksha, which is like the pathological findings, and here's accumulation, here's congestion, here it is too vitiated dosha, it's too weak, too strong. So let's say a swelling, too dense, too much water, it's a solid swelling. So things like that in terms that you understand. In Ayurvedic terms, it's like kapha. We have different imbalances of kapha. It's pitta, it could be kopa, which means like angry, aggravated, or it could be pitta shina, means pitta too low, too weak. Different terminology is given. So we need to identify the imbalance. First we said Atura Bala Pramana means identifying the person and the personality and the energies of the person, and then we have the pathological factors, dosha imbalance, how strong the pathogens are, how strong the imbalance is, how much accumulation, how long it has been there, All these things are important. And then there's a Ayu Pariksha, Atura Ayu Pariksha. It means little bit like a life expectancy. It's something that you can identify. It is through the past diagnosis and through the experience you can say. It also has something to do with the age group. If it is a children with, let's say, children with diabetes, a middle-aged person with diabetes, and an elderly person with diabetes, it changes the treatment approach. We have to adjust to the situation. So these are the basic things that we are looking. And afterwards, where, let's say we have a profile of a person, we can categorize according to these. It is the person's Atura Bala, it means the person's energy and strength, and then the imbalances, and then the age and the life expectancy, different things. Apart from that, when you meet a doctor in a one-to-one consultation, then the person, it says when the person is entering the room, or when you first see the patient, you have to start noticing things. That's where you start the consultation. It's about the gait, it means the walk, the walking style, the face and the emotions. If it is like painful emotion or discomfort, it's sad or happy, and motivated, or sometimes like blank. It could indicate deep depression or some kind of problem. So you have to visually monitor the person, how they walk. If it is like any asymmetry, like sometimes person is walking towards one side, like arm is like whole like this, or any visual asymmetry, like the half of the face is swollen, or like one arm is red, things like that. There is where we start the consultation. First thing is Darshana, Sparsha, Prashna, like three main categories. Darshana is what you see visually, then questions, Prashna. Then Sparsha is like you touch and you press and you feel, you find like that. Ayurveda has been discovered like 5,000 years ago. So those days people didn't use technology to get into the information like blood testing, or there were type of blood testing, but much different than what we do now. It was done occasionally and randomly, but much different. Like urine sample examinations are mentioned in Ayurveda, but only when necessary to get certain information. But basically this is what we do. So we see the person, Darshana, then we question. We talk a lot, we ask a lot of questions. Sometimes you might wonder like why, how is this relevant, but you will understand when I explain furthermore. And then Sparsha, you have to touch and feel. This is another way, Darshana, Prashna and Sparsha. Then what we normally do is we have Ashtavida Pariksha or Dashavida Pariksha. Ashtavida Pariksha is like it called category that you pay attention to. This is what is most commonly used. There's another one called Dashavida Pariksha. It has 10 categories that you have to question and figure out, find out each important detail that is given according to these 10. Ashtavida Pariksha is the one that is most commonly done. It has 8 sections: Nadi, Mutra, Mala, Jivha, Shabda, Sparsha, Druk, Akruti. Nadi means pulse, Mutra, urine, Mala, stool, Jihva, tongue, Shabda means the sounds and the voice of the person. Sparsha means touch and the skin basically. So you have to examine the skin and its imbalances. Druk means eyes and the vision related issues. And then Druk, what is the eyes, and then Akruti is the structural deformities and the color changes, the structural things. So these are the 8. So first one is Nadi Pariksha. This is normally we are doing the radial pulse, like here near the wrist. There are general patterns or styles. Wrist is the most recommended one. Sometimes you can get the brachial pulse here, or like the ankle, depending on if it is like a small baby. Sometimes if the baby is moving constantly, you can't really get pulse here, you can get here. So depending on the situation, if it is like a snake bite in the leg, sometimes the ankle pulse is also helpful. Generally it says you check pulse left hand of the woman and the right hand of the man, but it's like an art. It's not it cannot be really like defined. It's something that you create in your own sense, in your mind, in your practice. You gradually build up that technology, and there are different ways to do it. Sometimes they check here and the doctor is using both hands. Sometimes doctor is using just one hand, and sometimes some doctors check both hands, like a woman or a man, they check the pulse of both hands to get information. It's more like a style. In traditional Sri Lankan medicine, doctors are really like masters of this Nadi Pariksha. The thing about it is it's very hard to teach. It's very hard to explain what are you checking. Normally the people ask like, why, what are you checking? Do you count it? Sometimes yes, but most of the time no. Normally we don't count. It is more like in my experience, it's more like you transform what you feel into a picture. So you draw a picture for each condition, each person, you remember the picture. That's why when you check every time, you compare the changes. It's possible to memorize all these things. It's something that we have to build up. When we are studying, normally let's say a person, we start with simple things without breakfast, when you are hungry, and after breakfast. There's a definite difference of the same person. It is not very much recommended to check your own pulse. It says always, if you're a doctor, if you're sick, go to another doctor and ask them to check the pulse. It's what it is said in the books. So you have to experience. If you are interested in what is actually happening there, you can start noticing these simple ways, like before breakfast, after breakfast, before shower, when you are like really tired, when you are angry, when you're sad and crying. So you can check pulse and you will see slight changes of your own pulse. It's enough to like figure out, but for a diagnosis it says don't do your own diagnosis by pulse. This is the first one mentioned, Nadi Pariksha. Here it helps to identify the main imbalance dosha. It is different from what we see as the person. Let's say you are a Pitta Prakriti, your type, your true nature is Pitta. That is figured out differently. You can't check pulse and say you're Prakriti. It is more to what is happening inside the body. Today it's a hot day, so its Pitta is high. In the midday, Pitta is a little bit up. It's like that. It's what is changing, and that change we have to relate with the person's normal Prakriti. Let's say Pitta elevation in a Pitta Prakriti is different from Pitta elevation in a Vata Prakriti person. So that's why we need to have an idea about the Prakriti. There's another thing I would like to mention. It's sometimes limited information. We can't check pulse and tell everything. Sometimes we can say a lot of things, sometimes it's just one thing. It's like a mixed information. For example, let's say you are really in pain, so your vata can be high. So it's like too strong, then the rest of the information you don't really feel. We have to like let it calm down, like manage the pain, maybe comfort the person, and maybe like 3 days later you check the pulse, then the pain is managed, then you can get more information. Sometimes the pulse is too weak, then you don't really feel much. So then we have to like nourish the person and let it get to a level that it's developed, and then you can see. Ayurveda diagnosis and the treatment is like a process. You see regularly and then you remember. Sometimes we need to see and check the person very often. sometimes we know like this is going to be it for 2 weeks and no need to like check again and again and again. To an experienced doctor, they can tell a lot of information. It is case sensitive, yes, but sometimes very accurate diagnosis can be made with the pulse diagnosis, and it is the first one, it is the most important one. The next one is Mutra Pariksha. Mutra is urine. So this might sound like an awkward question to a normal person if you are going for a diagnosis and the doctor is, after the pulse diagnosis, they ask about urine or stool. It's a little bit like weird, but it is like excreta, things that carries out our excretory products, and they carry out toxins also. If there are changes, it can direct us very quickly to the diagnosis. So if it is like totally normal, no discomfort, no recurrent infections, normal color or the dark color, really dark color, really bad odor or no odor, things like that, simple findings can lead us, like we can say, okay, this side is more like pitta influenced in the urine, or it's like kapha influenced. So we collect information to our database. There's a kapha imbalance features in the urine outcome, things like that. The excreta are very important in Ayurveda. To have a well balanced body, you have to have like proper excreta, the elimination products, like things that you put out of your body, gives us information about your health. Urine problems, it could be like discomfort, it can be frequency urea, like you go very frequency. If it is abnormally frequent, then it says something about the imbalances. If it is painful, if it is like with the burning sensation, sometimes itchiness, all these features are helpful in diagnosis. When it comes to Mutra Pariksha, there are specific findings also. You take a urine sample and you put some herbal ingredient in there and observe it like after 30 minutes, after 1 hour, after 2 hours, and with the changes you come into some conclusions. That is also given. In certain cases we do that. When we see like, okay, especially for skin problems, cancer, they are like more multiple dosha and dhatu, like dosha and the tissues involved. Then we need a little bit more deeper information. Then we do this Mutra Pariksha also. The Thaila Bindu Pariksha, we take the urine sample and we put a drop of sesame oil, and the shape of the sesame oil, like the drop, changes. So according to these changes, we come into the conclusion. Then the next one is Mala Pariksha, means stool. Features and the nature of your bowel movement can give us a lot of information. If you know Ayurveda, you will know like digestive system is like the main place that we are giving priority in the diagnosis. It says all the diseases are arising due to lack of digestive function. It could be digestive failure, it could be metabolic activities. So if there's a problem there, that is very important to detect and correct as soon as possible. So a lot of information can be observed by the stool. The surprising thing is most people have no idea. When we ask questions about how is your bowel movement, what is the nature, is it like too liquidy, or if it is too solid, too hard. If it is too hard, they normally know, but otherwise they don't pay attention. So it is something important to know, because the healthy person can be figured out of the features of the stool as well. If there's a problem, if there's an imbalance, if there's a bad toxin in the body, it will be noticed in the stool. So for example, if it is too sticky and if it makes a really unpleasant smell, it's a feature of Ama. If it is too heavy and if it really goes down and if it is sticking in the commode, then it is a feature of Ama, so you are carrying Ama. Maybe you have a regular bowel movement, but it is carrying features of Ama. It means there's something to be corrected just than the regularity. And also like the feeling when you get after and before the bowel movement. It says when you eliminate the bowel, you have to feel like a very pleasant sensation, like not just a relief, it's like a state of happiness. If you pay attention, you will notice when you have a proper bowel movement, you will feel like a pleasant sensation, like because your body is like feeling light and active, more ready mode. If you don't fully evacuate, you will feel like there's like a discomfort slightly. You're carrying it throughout the day. It's not pain, it's like a sensation of not evacuating properly. So these are the things that are that we are looking in the consultation. If it is not properly evacuating, we have to facilitate that, because anything retaining from a place that you are supposed to eliminate it, it's not healthy. Things related to this functions we also ask there, like hemorrhoids, bleeding with the bowel movement. So things like that also normally doctors will ask. If you have mentioned already, they will ask more details, like since how long you have this bleeding. Then the fourth one is jihva. Jihva means tongue examination. This is also very important, and by looking at the tongue, we can tell a lot of info. We can collect a lot of information. It is the color, the texture, and how it appears, the pattern. Sometimes it can be patchy, sometimes it's like two different colors. The back is like greenish and the middle is yellowish and the front is whitish. So many different patterns, and the nature and the texture of saliva also gives us information, like the level of hydration and the toxicity level. Sometimes when people open their mouth, it gives like a little bit of unpleasant or like different odors. Sometimes it can be like a smell of some fruit. These things are also important. The teeth, the color of the teeth, everything we are noticing, but basically we are focusing on the tongue. So this coated tongue gives us a lot of information, can lead us to like directly to diagnosis, like this is coming from liver dysfunction. So the person's liver functions are not really normal. And sometimes it could be like too much pitta, too much kapha, lack of agni. A lot of information we can find out by looking at the tongue. This is a feature of most of the traditional medicinal systems. Even in Chinese medicine, they do a lot of findings they do after the tongue examination. Fifth one is Shabda. Shabda starts with the voice. When they speak, is it like a normal voice? It's like a coarse voice, or which is like too different from the pattern. And the speech pattern usually comes, if unless it is really abnormal, it comes to the personality type, the diagnosis of the prakriti. Some people talk really fast, that is vata. Some people are like really slow and they take break in between, that's more kapha. Sometimes the abnormalities of the voice, some problems of the brain, some coordination problems can be detected by the speech and the voice. This is more like the shabda. Here we also examine in case of knee, like let's say the person has pain in the knee joint. So then we ask them to move the knee a little bit and then see if there's any noise coming when they move the joint. For some people maybe there's nothing. For some people maybe there's a lot of information that we can collect from that category. Then after Shabda, it's Sparsha. So it's basically focusing on the skin. It could be acne, too much patches, like freckles are like a normal feature of the Pitta personality. If it is a person with any kind of skin problem, then we look into deep. It could be the texture, it could be like the dryness, it's could be body hair, like some hormonal problems give excessive body hair. And the discoloration of the skin, like the polycystic ovarian syndrome normally comes with like a darker neck and the face and lot of facial hair, like unusual facial hair. And then the druk. We always ask about the eyesight, and we have to examine the eyes of the person. It is very important part of the person, because if you can't see, it limits you from doing a lot of things. So the maintaining the healthy eyesight and the healthy eyes is very important part of Ayurveda. Then we look at the sclera, we see if there's any swelling, if there's any abnormal shapes, any twitching. So we have to look into the eye, the color. There are normal things like the sclera, the white part of the eye is very whitish in Kapha Prakriti, a little bit like brownish to dark color in Vata Prakriti. It could be like reddish or yellowish in Pitta Prakriti. So these are like normal things, but the thing is, this Prakriti features, you don't find it as it is in the books. It could be like Vata Pitta mixture, so it's not like yellow, it's not like brown, it's not dry, it's not too watery, so it's a mixture. So that is where you need to practice a little bit more and experience and examine a lot more people. Then you will see like how to figure out the dosha relation here. It is same for the Prakriti and the Vikruti. If it is like a, let's say like a swelling or pain in the eye, we have to figure out the other features and say, okay, this is straight Vata. Then the last one is Akruti. Akruti is the structure. So if there's any swelling, any asymmetry, let's say the person is telling I have pain here. So you have to touch and see if there's anything that you can find externally. Here you can like press again, like the Sparsha Pariksha. You can like specific. You don't have to like press the whole body of the every person. You just go according to the necessity. If it is like pain here, normally a lot of people come with neck and shoulder pain, and if you touch and press, you will see the muscles here are very hard. Do some oil treatments like that. It helps us in the diagnosis, and also it helps us with the treatment planning. So these are the eightfold Ashtavidha Pariksha examination methods. If you are seeing a doctor, that would be very good, because the person, you will see a lot of like touching and close observations are there. And apart from that, Ayurvedic consultation has to definitely question about the sleep and sleep quality. It is one important thing in the lifestyle of the healthy person. It says food, sleep, they are given high priority. So we always ask about how you eat. If you have any specific diet like vegetarian, vegan, like that, or if you have any food intolerances, if you have any digestive problems with specific food groups. Sometimes it could be like a joint pain, so we ask, is there any food that you feel like when you eat, after eating this the pain goes up? If it make it worse, it could be a skin problem. Normally these two are quite sensitive. It could be allergy, it could be like a hay fever. When you eat this, you have like an allergic reaction. So food, and then the sleep quality. If there's impairment, we need to see if it is like the length or the quality, or there's falling asleep, if it is like disturbed, interrupted, or it's taking like many hours to fall asleep. We ask those two things. We ask, they are apart from the Ashtavidha Pariksha, but they are definitely main concerns. And then if it is a lady, we ask about menstruation, like if you are menopaused, or if you have any problems, if you are using any, if there's any hormonal interference like contraceptive, then we don't really work on that very much, because it's hard to apply our natural ways when there's like artificial disturbance coming from outside. Otherwise we try to help, and we can help the body to figure out the right balance of these hormones and regulatory mechanisms. It should be helping the body to restore and maintain, like figure out the right balance. It's not going to do it for the body. It's like helping the body to get back to its functional and its expected level of activity by quantity or quality, like that. Let's say you are taking some medicine for thyroid dysfunction. It will help the thyroid gland to actively produce enough, not to produce too much, like regulate the function. That's what we do. So when we talk about hormonal problems, we always ask about menstruation in the consultation, and then we can see if there's something we can do. Unless there's a like artificial hormonal interference, we can help most of the problems for menstrual problems and the menopause related problems. If it is a gentlemen, still we ask about if there's any problem with the sexual dysfunction, like erectile dysfunction, if you have any like lack of energy, loss of libido. Sometimes people come with that complication. In some cases we don't ask it directly, we try to like encourage the person if there's anything disturbing. How is your sexual life, functions, are they okay, so like that. But if you're going to Ayurvedic doctor and if you have something, I would like you to recommend, please ask about it. So there's a lot we can do. So simple remedies, simple techniques, maybe like oil massage, we can help a lot. So sometimes some gentlemen are not really open to talk about it. There's nothing to be afraid or like hold yourself back. Please discuss about it, because in within weeks we can like sort out the whole problem. So if you need some support, definitely mention it. And then we are asking about little bit of like a interference to the normal structure, surgeries or fractures, like damage, like sometimes the knee joint is fine but it's like a new knee, it's not the normal knee. So we need to know, because certain treatments we are like linking this with our treatments, the findings of the consultation. So we need to find out if you have had any operation, surgery, or any accident, any broken joints or anything. And then we definitely have to find out about the psychological side of the person. So we ask about habits. Habits is like not something that you generally do, it's something that you do like a habit, you can't stop doing it, then it is like a level of habit. So alcohol, smoking, anything that you are addicted to is also included in this psychological and habits lifestyle part. And then we ask about if you have anything, how do you feel, are you happy, or is there anything that bothers you. So we try to like step into talking about mental imbalances. Is little bit uncomfortable sometimes to the person, sometimes they start crying. Definitely remember again, you can always mention it, because it's very important part of the health. So if we miss that part, it will you will not completely get your outcome. Sometimes people don't say it in the first consultation, sometimes in the second one they say it. But feel comfortable to talk about it. Mental illnesses are quite common nowadays. As soon as we work on it, it would be better. Could be like a worry, like something that you really can't let go of it. We have a huge starting from just talking, like counseling, to medicine. We have a lot of solutions to mental illnesses, and we can definitely support you with that. It's anyway like engaged in the physical health, we can't really exclude that. So it's a part of Ayurvedic consultation, and we try to ask it, like try to categorize your mental state. We have like sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. Tamasic is a little bit like downside, like easily worrying, easily like attaching to things and hard to let go. That's tamasic. Rajasic is more like aggressive, like quick, angry, really agitated type of mind. And sattvic is more like the balanced state of the mind. Always feel comfortable to talk about it, because this is very important part. How is your day going? What are you doing? So how busy you are? How do you define yourself? So are you busy, or are you happy? Are you like you have like overload of work, things like that. Lifestyle and exercises, it's more like Vyayama Shakti, which is like how capable you are and how much exercises you need. Are you capable of doing that much, or you should actually do less? If you're doing like distance, like online consultation, we will not be able to get some findings like sparsha or nadi pariksha, but still it's worth to get the other things and analyze it, because when we plan the treatment, it's about food, it's about your lifestyle, it's about activities, and then it comes to the treatments. If you are not capable, especially like this time, people are not capable of traveling or meeting, so you can still get your diet plan, your lifestyle, and maybe get an explanation about certain issues you have in your body. Then maybe like home remedies and simple measures that you can do, like take some coconut or sesame oil and warm up and massage and get more guidance and more. We try to one goal in Ayurveda consultation is help the person to balance the lifestyle. So starting from when to wake up and everything, what to eat, do I snack or shouldn't I be snacking, or what kind of herbal tea I should be drinking. All these things we can help you. So it's more like, even if you're still healthy, you can make it more balanced and more meaningfully arranged in a way that you can maintain your good health. And if you're having some small issues, you can fix it at the beginning level. I try to explain you about what happens in Ayurvedic consultation. If you have any questions, you can email us, you can write us, you can follow us in our YouTube channel, Instagram and Facebook under the name of Plantation Villa. I wish you a healthy and happy life. Bye.